Hello, my awesome first grade artist. I'm back again today and we're going to be starting a new project. We are going to be creating these hot air balloons, and the fun part about it is it's going to have your picture in it. So that's going to be really cool. This is something that your family, it's going to be a great keepsake for your family to always have and remember what you look like when you were in the first grade and some of the art that you did. So to begin with, teachers, I would like for you to show the YouTube video, the hot air balloon, Curious George kids cartoon. The whole link is written out in your lesson plans, and it's just a little Curious George book that's read aloud. And then if you'll look back onto the first page of your lesson plans, I have the Mississippi College and Career Readiness Standard that goes with this, and it's RL 1.3, describe characters, settings, and major events in a story using key details. So teachers, we're trying to integrate some of our other subjects in, and I would like for you to just ask some questions after watching the story and kind of talk to the kids about that, so to make sure they had some good comprehension of it. But then when it's time to start the project, what we are going to do is we're first going to make a piece of painted paper that will be the background for your art piece. And so we are going to be using cool colors to make our background. And remember, cool colors are colors that make us think of things that are cold or cool, like water and ice. And so I have used blue and purple in here to create this, or magenta, which is sort of like a shade of purple. So I'm going to pull this out of the way. Everybody is going to get a piece of watercolor paper, and don't put your name label on it yet because we're going to be spraying it both sides with water and it'll mess it up. So you can just have the students write their name on one side so that in pencil, and then they'll know what it is later, and we'll add the name labels later. But what we're going to do is make our painted paper first. So I'm going to take a bottle of water, just a spray bottle of water, and to help prevent it from warping, I'm going to spray both sides because you'll see it tries to start curling up, and that helps flatten it out a bit. And then just let the students use, I've got some blue and magenta watercolor paint. Let them use that and just start adding paint to it. And with it wet, it'll just kind of move around, kind of have them work quickly. Rinse the brush in between. I don't have some water to do that. I'm just going to really gently pick into my magenta, my purple, or my purple, whichever you want to use. And add that in there, and it creates some really beautiful effects where the colors kind of mixing in. With that wet paper, it just creates something that we call blooms. I'm going to show you what that is in just a minute. So while it's still wet, we're going to do another really cool technique that you can do with watercolor paper, with watercolors. This is a little cup that I have of rubbing alcohol, and you're going to let the students take a pipette and suck some of that alcohol into it and drop it onto their paper. It has to be while the watercolor is still wet. And see these circles start to happen, and they're so unique and pretty, and these are called blooms in watercolor. And they look so pretty when it dries. So, and I'm kind of just squeezing the end out, the little bit that was left, and it creates these teeny tiny little circles. So let them do that. That's a fun thing to do. And then you'll need to sit it over on your drying rack somewhere and let it dry. So you want to make sure they get the piece of painted paper back that they painted. Make sure they have written their names on the back. I'm going to show you one that I have already finished, and it's dry. So isn't that pretty? See, all of these blooms have happened with the watercolor mixing and then the rubbing alcohol in with that. So before this lesson begins, teachers, you will have taken photographs of your students with different expressions, and you're going to have those already pre-cut out for the students. So that will be ready, and then what we're going to do next is everybody will have some cardstock pieces, shapes of these kind of an oval. It looks circle, but it's a little bit oval because one side's a little bit longer, and these are going to be your balloons. So teachers, if you want to, you can go ahead and pre-cut out these balloons for the students, or you can let them cut out. It really depends on how much time you have. So you decide that. But I have one that I have already cut out, and it's just a plain white oval on cardstock paper. And it's an oval, like I said, it kind of looks like a circle, but if you turn it this way, this side's a little longer. So I'm going to have it more like that. And then you're going to let the students decide how they want to decorate it. And you're going to use Sharpies and Crayola markers. So we're going to use a black Sharpie first to kind of divide it into sections. And we're going to do this because a black Sharpie is permanent and it will not blend into all of our other colors when we use our Crayola markers. So for this one that I did, I made some curving lines that kind of divide the balloon into sections. This may be a little more difficult for the students, so you can let them decide how they want to do it. They could just make some straight lines that go all the way across horizontally. That means the long side is going across. And you can do different kinds of lines. I'm going to do a swirly line, curly Q line. I did a straight line to begin with. We use lots of lines when we draw. And then I'm going to do a zigzag line. Now, don't do yours just like mine. I want yours to look unique because you're unique. So I want you to decide what you want to do. And then I'm going to make a curvy line. And so that gives us these different spaces to fill in with patterns. So patterns are just when we repeat colors and shapes and lines. So you get to decide what you want to do with yours. So maybe I will put some polka dots in this part. So I'm going to draw some circles and I'm going to color them in, and I'm going to try to color in neatly. When we color, we go in the same direction so it looks nice and neat. I'm going to make some half circles and some full circles. See, I'll make a half circle here. I'm just trying to fill in that space. And I'm going in the same direction when I color. Okay. And I want it to be a different color in the background behind those purple circles. So I'm going to color the space in behind there, and I'm going to do it yellow. So what you're going to do, boys and girls, is you are going to finish adding patterns to each section of your balloon and make it look however you want. This is your balloon, and you get to decide how you want it to look because you are the artist. So be creative and make it look really, really good. And then when you're finished, when you have all of your patterns and colors in there, you can glue it at the top of your paper. So it would go here near the top, and I would recommend using Elmer's glue for this. It's going to do a lot better than stick glue. All right, then let me find mine. This is my finished one because I'm just going to show you this. This is going to be real easy. You're then going to get your picture of yourself, and you're going to glue that on with some Elmer's glue. Then I have made these pre-cut. This is paper that has texture. Texture is how something feels, and this feels bumpy. You're going to see that when you get yours. It has a bumpy texture. And when we do art, it's good to combine different textures for variety, so everything isn't the same. So after you've drawn your picture, then you'll glue your basket on, and it needs to overlap the bottom of your body because it'll make it look like you are sitting inside or standing inside your basket. So you'll glue that, and then teachers, you can just let the students use a black Sharpie and create their lines that attach the basket to the balloon. And so I cannot wait to see what these look like. I want you to take your time and do a really good job, and I'll put them on Artsonia, and your friends and family can see it, and it may even get picked for the art show. So do a really good job. And teachers, if you have early finishers, let them just flip their paper over and write a story on the back about it. Make sure they have their name labels on the back, and I will see you next time. Bye.